we have to explain it again and again. That we're not the body. Please try to understand this. We're not the body. We're spirit soul. Because until you understand that, life will have no meaning and no purpose. All the purpose and meaning will be temporary, shallow, unfulfilling, unsatisfactory, and never wind up at a good place. For we have to know that's where we have to begin.
Yeah.
And if we don't begin there, we don't begin.
You know, the benefit of having podcasts on Wednesdays is that every Tuesday we have our class. And usually on Tuesdays when we meet people, I have a lot of inspiration and a lot of, you know, we speak after the class, there's a lot of questions and a lot of things come up. So I do have some idea in my head, you know.
All right. What is it?
Well, something that it seems like is kind of difficult for me to answer, but I'm wondering, you know, how you can see that from a Vedic perspective is the a lot of people, maybe more now than before, I don't know, just seems to be a little bit lost in their lives and needing help to, like, which direction should I go and how should I set up my life? How do I essentially know which direction will be beneficial for me to go in life, which things I should do and what like, because they have some, like this girl that I spoke to, she had some yearning in her heart, and she was I was quite impressed. She'd done a 3-year bachelor. She was just in the end of the bachelor in the south part of Norway, and she had one exam left on the before she could get the bachelor's degree, and it ended up like she failed the exam. She was going to take it again, a retest or re-exam, and when she did, there was some issue with her hand or something made it so that she failed the exam, and she failed the exam the third time as well, and she just decided, no, I can't do this. Like, this is so against what my heart wants me to do. So she moved back to Tromsø again, and she was very happy to be able to join our classes up there, but she now she's like, she knows that wasn't what her heart said, but how to know, and how to know which direction to go, and how to follow your heart, and which direction to go in life. That's kind of a that's
definitely we got answers.
Yeah, well, yeah. So
that's no problem to give the answer. Whether they'll accept the answer or not, I don't know. But
well,
you know, there's the true answer, and then there's all this other stuff that really, you know, doesn't really solve anything.
Yeah.
So, you know, this concept of follow your heart, you know, I don't know when it started, but it became popular during the hippie thing.
Maybe.
And basically all that really translates to is do what you feel like you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, you know, oh, I want to do this, so that's what I should do. And so basically, in many, many cases, people are following their heart, because that means I'm following my desires. You know, so this exam, I mean, this schooling she took in the exam and so on like that, obviously it wasn't what she really wanted to do in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, she was doing it because, you know, peer pressure, society rules, or parents, or whatever reason.
Yeah.
I need to get this education so I'll have a good future.
Yeah.
I'll have an education, I can get a good job. You know, I'll be somebody. I won't just be an uneducated, you know, person. You know, I can therefore be somewhat proud of, you know, myself.
Exactly.
But, you know, even a bachelor's degree now is like nothing.
No.
I mean, like you don't have anything. Now you got to get your master's degree to be what you used to be able to be with a bachelor's degree. Now you got to get a master's or a doctorate, because master's is
Master's
like
already getting.
not much going on now. You know, it's just like, oh, that's all you got.
Yeah.
You know, so you're stuck in this whole concept of education. I got to get this and then this and then this. So you get through it all, and it's not easy. Yeah. I mean, for some people it might be, but in general it's not easy. It costs a lot of money, you know. And then, so you got the master's or the doctorate or whatever you wind up with. And what do you got? Now you're obligated to do something you probably don't want to do anyway.
Exactly.
Because you put so much time and energy and money into getting this thing. Now you can't not do it.
And the pressure is even...
So you're still...
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're still in the same place you were before you started.
The pressure is even higher, because now everyone knows that you've got the degree. Like I have a master's degree in civil engineer degree in environmental engineering, and I don't work with it. And then the pressure is even higher for me to follow through.
Exactly, you know. And I remember in my life, went to school, and at that university, and at that time, everybody was becoming an engineer. I mean, that was just like 90% of the people. Mm-hmm. But I went to a university that was kind of like more oriented toward farming and so on, you know. And so I decided, okay, I'll go there and get a degree in, what was I going to get a degree in? Zoology, I think, because I liked hunting, I liked animals, I liked being out in nature and whatever. Then I started scuba diving. And so I was very attracted to the ocean. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, I'm going to change it, not zoology, but marine biology, with the concept that I will be able to just scuba dive for a living. I'll be able to do that. So I was taking the proper courses to do that. But of course, in the beginning, it's just all basically the same courses. You specialize later, you know. So anyway, I was with the same guys that were taking the course for pre-med, you know, doctors and whatever. We all went through the same basic training. Then after I graduated that summer, I was going to go in the fall to Hawaii, actually, to a marine biology school. But by now I'd started surfing, and I kind of lost interest in scuba diving, because surfing was much more fun than scuba diving. But anyway, I still had the idea of marine biology. Mm-hmm. And then there was a group of marine biologists. I was working as a waiter at this restaurant on the beach. And this group of marine biologists had a convention there at a big hotel up the beach, the Carolinian Hotel. Many of them. And one day they all came down to our restaurant for lunch. And the whole restaurant, and it was kind of before the season, it was in late May. And so we didn't have much business, and they filled up the whole restaurant. And I was waiting on these guys. Uh-huh. And I saw the guys that I was going to have to spend my life with. All these scientists, these nerdy kind of guys, you know, thick glasses, you know, just not cool at all. And I just went, man, there's no way I'm going to spend the rest of my life with these kind of people. And so I just completely gave it up, man. I just said, really? I'm not going to do this. Really? That was my decision maker. You know, so I said, I'm just going to, you know, but I still, you know, was going to go to Hawaii because I had a scholarship to do this marine biology thing. Uh-huh. So I said, well, I'll go, you know, anyway. And my parents were expecting it. And,
yeah.
And so I went to Hawaii. Why Hawaii? I told my parents because they got a really good marine biology, curriculum.
When it really
it was because of the surf. It had nothing to do with the marine biologist. So, I'd already decided in my mind, I'm not going to do any of this stuff. I'm just going to surf. So the day I was supposed to go register at university for my degree, to begin my study, I just woke up that morning and I went surfing, man. But I never told my parents for a long time. And one day they wrote me and they said, "Are you in university? We kind of feel like maybe you're not." And I said, "Yeah, man, I'm not." And then I joined the Coast Guard to keep from getting sent to Vietnam, and the whole story unfolded. But but along the way, I was doing what I wanted to do rather than what I was supposed to do according to society.
Yeah, yeah.
But I felt good about it. I felt really good about it. And then, I was more and more interested in spiritual life, and that became very, very attractive to me. And, the whole story goes, I started doing yoga. Down the road, a couple of years later, I met, our spiritual master. And that's what I've done with my life. And I have no regrets, zero regrets. So in one sense, I was following my heart, kind of doing what I wanted to do, but it was leading me in a good direction.
Well, but how do you know that? Like, how did you?
Well, I knew that I was comfortable with what I was doing.
Yeah.
I wasn't, worried about, oh, you're not going to have any money. Oh, people won't think, much of you because you don't really have an advanced education, or you won't be a part of the society, a functioning member of society. I didn't care about it.
Yeah, you didn't care about it. Yeah.
It just wasn't relevant to me. I don't care,
No.
I'm doing what I want to do. And so as long as it's not going in the direction of drugs and alcohol and, stupid things and, the things that obviously are bad for you, because my mental condition was good. I felt relaxed. I felt enthusiastic, excited about life and every day. And, that's all good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
If you're all depressed because you feel like you're forced into doing things you shouldn't be doing, you're not going to really get much out of that.
No.
So, a lot of these people that are in those positions, they become, depressed or addicted to drugs, or they have to be motivated by something that's not real. And
you might even be kind of paralyzed by that because you're so mentally down, like in the that you're not.
And out of that comes all kind of physical problems and relationship problems, and So I wasn't struggling with any of that, And so I'm just telling you what my experience was.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I'd have been spending the rest of my life with these scientists,
it would be a different.
I'm not saying anything against the scientists. That's what they were into.
Yeah.
And I could see they were into it, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't, attracted to that.
And there's nothing wrong with being into that and living a yoga lifestyle. I mean, you can do that as well, but
absolutely. But each person's got their own individual journey to take.
Yeah.
But the bottom line out of all of this is it's a spiritual journey that's only going to be beneficial. Because if I'd have just stayed a surfer, I knew many guys that did, that wouldn't have produced any good results in the long run. Mm-hmm. That would have been, another basically hedonistic pursuit in life, because it was just satisfying my senses in that particular way.
Yeah.
So, for me, the spirit soul, it would not have had a positive result.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand.
But it's interesting that when we first started chanting, almost, I don't know, I won't say everybody, but a large percentage of the people that became seriously involved were surfers.
Yeah.
you could look around and see, well, yeah, this, and not only in Hawaii, but in Australia, because that was where a lot of people started as well, you know? And it seemed like surfing kind of produced a certain mode of goodness, outlook on life that was conducive to spiritual pursuits.
Maybe an openness as well, in a sense that you're already a bit outside society, so it's not, you don't have the obligations of a 9-to-5 job and all the family and all the things, but you're more free in a sense to adopt.
And also, the ones who weren't surfers were hippies, which is just what you said. They'd already, make the choice to step out of society. And just kind of do their thing, as the saying went in those days, And Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, actually, he made it very clear. He was speaking to a large group of hippies. And he said, it's good that you've stepped out of society. But now, if you don't get involved in spiritual life, it'll be of no value. And it'll just lead to degradation.
Wow.
And so that was what he told people to do.
Wow.
Because, think about it a little. And we're not promoting stepping out of society. Don't get me wrong. But when Bhaktivedanta came to the West and saw the hippies, he also could see this is, very different from, but somewhat like in India, when people step out of society and become sadhus, mendicants, sannyasis, etc., So that's what he could see, that these people have already taken the first step, but now they have to connect it with spiritual life, or it'll be just of no value at all and lead to just, a bad result completely. And he spoke straight and told them what they should do with their life. And, many were open to that. Of course, many, many, many weren't. But there was a lot of people that could receive this message with some feeling like, this is what I should do. And did it. And they did it.
I guess it seems like in that situation, it seems the question would be, how do I then implement spiritual life in my life, and how should I live my life? I mean, so many times I've been speaking to people who are trying to follow this process and interested in it, but they don't know, should I get this job? Should I quit this job? Like, what's my role in this? Where do I fit in the whole picture, and how can I adapt it to my life?
The Vedas say that in life, you should do that which comes easy to you. If you've got to over-endeavor to achieve some material goal, then it shouldn't be done. It's not correct. Well, many of our material pursuits certainly require over-endeavor. And but that's the way we've been programmed in society. You should just work hard and make it happen, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So maybe you do. And for some people, that's easy for them to do it. I mean, when we say it comes easy, it doesn't mean you don't have to do anything. But it means it's easy for you to do it.
Like you have the inclination to do that kind of thing.
Yes, if that's your propensity. Like, some people are just have the propensity for business. And business takes a lot of effort, but it's not hard for them to do it.
Yeah. Because
it's what they want to do. They've got a passion for doing it. And so therefore, they could not do it. That's just their inclination, their tendency, propensity, attraction, whatever, however you want to, label it. And so that should be some guideline. What is it? Like in Tromsø, you've got this person that we know only through, his videos on the internet. It's this mountaineer
Oh yeah.
guy,
Mhm.
Well, he's successful in his own right, and he's just doing what is natural for him to do. He lives in the right place to do it. He's got the right association of the friends of his who want to do it. And they make videos, and, he's stoked. And
Yeah.
a lot of people that watch his videos are appreciative. And, but it's easy for him to do it. But what he's doing is not easy.
Yeah.
Definitely not easy what he's
what you mean.
doing.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. He's mountaineering, if anybody didn't catch what I'm talking about. And we're not saying everybody should do that. That's just his particular thing that he's doing.
Yeah. And then since that is his inclination, even the work towards that goal becomes not such a big struggle, like even taking an education if you need to, or doing whatever is required to put you in that situation. It's not such a big, it doesn't come that hard. I mean, yeah, so I see what you mean. It's not about hard work, because spiritual life definitely can be hard work, and arranging your life.
It is hard work.
Yeah.
It is hard work, But if you can accept in your life, your consciousness, number one, I'm spirit soul. I'm not this body. This is very important to understand. It's the most important. I'm spirit soul. I'm not this body. So all these physical, material, mental endeavors that may enhance my material well-being is not really going to help me, the spirit soul. So even though I may feel good about it, and et cetera, on the material level, it's not really benefiting me, the eternal spiritual person that I am. And when all of this comes to an end, which is inevitable, then I really haven't gained anything for myself. So I really didn't do what I should have done for myself.
No, I see what you
So
mean.
just satisfying my material desires, which is basically the following your heart thing, it's not really what we should do for ourselves, the spirit soul, The problem with following our heart is our hearts are contaminated with unwanted desires, material, attractions and hopes and promises and whatever. So following that heart is not advised. Following your heart, if the heart is purified, that is perfect. That's what the pure devotees of the Lord do. Their heart is pure. So what they're really following is the Lord in the heart, the Supreme Personality who is in everybody's heart, mine, yours, and every living entity's heart. So when our heart is pure, we are hearing His guidance, His direction. So when I'm following my heart, it means I'm following the Lord. I'm following His guidance for me in my life.
Right.
Which will be all good. There can be no bad advice, no bad direction.
It's a perfect plan.
No
perfect.
bad suggestions.
Yeah.
It will all be perfect for our well-being, for our eternal happiness and satisfaction, and fulfillment.
Yeah.
So the point is, we have to start discriminating between what is good for me materially and what is good for me spiritually. But we won't have any idea about any of this if I don't hear these truths.
I was exactly going to say that. Because you need information to take that decision and to be able to discern between what is beneficial and what is not.
Yeah.
And
so when I thought surfing was good for me,
right.
I didn't really have the full understanding of who I was and what was good for me.
Yeah.
It was just satisfying my senses in a very wonderful way. But when I started hearing the message of truth, that you're not the body, you're spirit, soul, and your eternal position is to grow spiritually. That's the purpose in life, to come to know and please the Lord. I didn't hear it so directly in the beginning. I just heard it in a watered down or, misrepresented way, but the message was on a spiritual platform. That was spiritual life was better than material life. I heard that message. And I could feel that was true. It wasn't hard to see that, well, yeah, this is a superior way to live, So then when I, read more and practiced more and got involved more in yoga and meditation and so on, before I met my spiritual master, this became more and more priority. And I could see the shallowness of surfing. It was great, it was wonderful, but it was shallow as far as life goes.
Yeah.
Because I was now understanding there's deeper meaning to life. There's a depth there that you will never achieve on this material surface level.
Kind of like you're living in one dimension, but you suddenly realize, wait, there's another, there's two or three, or there's deeper.
Like we talked about, I think it was the last podcast, how, you just paddle around on the surface with a face mask and a snorkel and fins. You're not going to see that much of the ocean. But if you put on, scuba gear and go down, to 65 feet, 100 feet, 30 meters, 40 meters, 50 meters or more, there's a world down there that you would never see from the surface, And there's a calmness and there's a peacefulness down there, like we were talking about the tsunami and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's not hard to understand that if you're open at all. I mean, if some, marine biologist told you, well, Reuben, you've seen some amazing things on the reefs from, your snorkeling experience, but you should go beyond the shallow reef into the real depths and see what's down there. And you could say, well, yeah, I believe you. You wouldn't be, I don't believe it. There's nothing else down there. This is all there is. Because intelligently, you would know this person's telling the truth. So it's like that if you've got any inclination toward knowing the truth and what to do with your life, when somebody presents spiritual knowledge, you're going to go, yeah, that makes sense.
It's kind of like your intelligence is somehow purified as well, or you're using your intelligence in the right way, like your intelligence is helping you.
Yes.
Yeah.
But intelligence needs knowledge. It needs to be based on knowledge. So your intelligence first thing would be to let's get more knowledge on this.
Yeah.
Let's receive more information. I want to know more about this. So they go to your class and they hear more. And then you give them a practice, which is unfortunately what most, people don't have is a practice. There's a philosophy all over the place in many different ways. But
that's true.
How many of those people actually have a practice that will purify them? And a regular daily practice, that can make it so they start hearing more, understanding more. Their enthusiasm increases. Their inquisitive nature increases. Their interest increases. From the practice.
I told this girl in the end that because she was wondering about so what do I do in practice, just like you say, a practical thing. And I told her, if you just do this Guranga breathing 5-10 minutes a day, it will change your life. I'm sure about that. Don't have any doubts. You will, everything will become so much more light and positive in your life. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So just
absolutely. And if they'll do it, if they're serious about bettering their life, let's say, okay, I really want to know what to do in my life. If they really want to know, then they will be given the inspiration to do it.
Exactly.
Because the Lord in our heart knows everything that we think, feel, want, etc.
Yeah.
And if we're serious, He'll push us in a serious direction.
Yeah.
You know? But, you know, the way we've been raised, the culture and so on, sincerity in spiritual life is like on the last place. So, you know, not many people are going to even entertain this approach to what should I do with my life.
That's true. But there's
Yeah.
nothing, you know, I can do about that. Like, what can I? I mean, I can only.
Nothing you can do about it.
No.
But she's fortunate because somehow she came to your program.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you said she was happy to come. So, and she asked a question. She revealed some information about her dilemma in life. You know, so that's all good. That's all a good sign.
Yeah, it is.
You know.
Because if you're just gonna, I mean, if you're just gonna fake it till you make it, like the philosophy seems to be out in the world, then you wouldn't say such a thing. You wouldn't. I mean, if you don't open up to you not knowing the way or asking for help or needing help, then you won't get the help. You won't have this conversation. We won't have this information if you don't dare to do that. So.
Right. Yeah. So. You know, and once you've gained some enthusiasm for the process, it's not hard.
No.
You know, like all those other endeavors we was referring to. They're hard, but they're not hard because you want to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
It's true.
So it's easy to do it because you want to do it.
Yeah, and if you want to do it, then even the hard things becomes easy. I mean, it's like...
It's not physically... Look at all these endurance athletes.
Yeah.
Or any of these. You know, what they do is so hard, but it's not hard for them to do it. In fact, they've dedicated their life to suffering. Really, I mean, what is their saying? I've heard it several times lately. I'm comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, they've come to a point where they're very comfortable with being so uncomfortable that you and I can't even relate to it. You know.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And they expect the pain. They expect, you know, the nausea. They expect, you know, the delirium almost from exhaustion. They expect that, and they're okay with that. And they train, and they're better and better at pushing through it. Yeah. And it's not a surprise when it happens. And they're not thinking, I got to stop. This is going to kill me. They know this is just normal in what I'm doing, you know. And they just get so good at it that they can come to the verge of death almost and carry on like, day in a life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if somehow they're so, you know, debilitated by their physical exertion that they can't continue, they just can't wait to sort it out. Why did that happen? You know, was it the nutritional intake wasn't right? I wasn't eating the right thing. You know, I trained wrong before. Whatever. They're analyzing it so they can overcome whatever caused that.
Like a problem-solving consciousness, always ready to find a way.
So let's make it better, man.
Yeah.
So next time that won't happen.
Yeah. And that's how we should be in life. That's the point.
So if you're like that in spiritual life, you know, and we've got, through our teachings, all the answers why something adverse happens in spiritual life. It's not like a mystery. Some people say, well, I lost my enthusiasm. Well, let's look at what you did. What caused that? You know, and if it's analyzed by the individual themselves or, you know, somebody helping them, they'll see They got lazy in their practice. They just didn't do it. Or they did it, but just, nonchalantly and just more out of obligation. And or they hung out with the wrong people, and the bad association put doubts in their mind or undermined, their practice or enthusiasm or faith or whatever it was. Or they stopped following some principles that, polluted them, whatever. You can analyze and say, well, this is why, don't blame the process. You did it like these runners I'm talking about. Oh, I trained too overtrained. Or I added this to my diet that didn't work, or, whatever. And I let something else creep in that I shouldn't have, So in anything, to be successful, you've got to be serious about it.
Yeah.
You have to be serious about it.
Yeah.
And if you are, then the Lord knows that. So if you're serious about spiritual life, you will be helped.
You will get the opportunities and the way forward, and
yeah, exactly. Like it's stated in the scriptures, if you take one step toward the Lord, He takes 1,000 steps toward you. That's a pretty good ratio. You make one step, He makes 1,000. I think we can see who's enthusiastic about our well-being.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So we shouldn't doubt this. So in your, relationship with this girl you talked about, just all you can do, and you are, I know, the example, and you're convinced, and encourage her to come and, explain. You don't have to accept all this at one time. If you accept one little thing, that's great. We're not asking you to believe and accept, jump in full on, So like you said, 5-10 minutes a day, Garanga breathing. Can you do that? Yeah, okay, so do it. And she can, somewhere down the road, start doing some japa. Well, see. Come to more meetings, make friends with you guys, and see that it's real.
Yeah. Exactly. And she might even be...
here's people.
Yeah.
What?
No, she might even be listening into this. I mean, I'll send this recording to her. She'll be...
Yeah, here's people who are real people, and they're not a bunch of fanatics, and they're healthy, and they're happy, and they're, got some purpose in life, and they're doing things to make it work, and we all need to do whatever we need to do to make it work materially, but doesn't have to be some giant, all-encompassing career.
No.
That's just going to bury me.
No.
Or just diminish my... See, now this girl's got a window of opportunity, because she's not buried in study, and she's not buried in some future entanglement. So it's a window of opportunity that she should take advantage of. Now she's kind of like free to make a choice. Where am I going to go? I'm at a crossroads.
Yeah.
See, she's not far down this way or far down another way.
Exactly. She's come back to a point where she can,
Yeah.
She's got options.
Right. Which is a very advantageous position. And see it like that, as a window of opportunity. You know, we have to explain it again and again. That we're not the body. Please try to understand this. We're not the body. We're spirit soul. Because until you understand that, life will have no meaning and no purpose. All the purpose and meaning will be temporary, shallow, unfulfilling, unsatisfactory, and never wind up at a good place. We have to. That's why Bhagavad Gita, we talk about Bhagavad Gita all the time.
Yeah.
That's where the Lord Krishna starts his conversation with Arjuna. You are not the body. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. That was the very beginning of that whole instruction, that whole enlightenment of Arjuna.
And he explained it in many different ways and made a big effort for Arjuna to understand that.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's the perfect example.
So we have to know that's where we have to begin.
Yeah.
And if we don't begin there, we don't begin. Really,
Yeah.
I mean, often people that are, involved with some religion, they don't understand that point either.
No.
Yeah, we're all God's children, whatever. But if you look at their real understanding, it's not really their full understanding or realization.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's our main starting point and subject that we have to refer back to so many different times. And not only for other people, but for ourselves. I mean, we got to be reminded of that also.
That's true.
Every day.
That's true.
It's not like, oh, I know that, but you don't know. Do we really know it? Or do I need to hear it again to remind myself?
Yeah. Yeah, because we're living in a world where that is not a truth that's lived by and abided by and spread in any way. So, of course, we're covered over and by whatever's out there, since we are exposed to society.
Yeah. The ocean of material existence comes sweeping in and just covers us up. Again and again and again.
That's why you need a buoy. Is that what they call them? A buoy? Do you have in the ocean to hold
Buoy.
on? Buoy. Buoy.
Buoy to hold on to, yeah. We do. And the spiritual master and the teachings, that's the buoy.
Yeah.
But again, if we don't hear this again and again, we're going to hear the material story every day, all day. You are the body, this world is your home. You can be happy here. This is what you need to do. Eat this, pursue this, accomplish this, enjoy this. I mean, you're going to hear that all day, every day.
Mm.
So we need to consciously, purposely hear the real truth every day. And the practice that we do, the mantra chanting and so on, we ought to know this is for me, the spirit soul. This is my prescription for life. This is what I need to do.
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
I guess there's plenty for her to digest. Yes.
Yeah.
We can maybe chant Avikirtan.
But it's
yeah.
The more you do it, the more clear it becomes. That,
Yeah,
exactly. This is what, I need to do.
That's really what's so special. Like you say, there's a practice here. There's not just this floating philosophy, believe it or not, just accept it. No, there's a practice that you can do to realize this, make it real in your life.
Yeah. Right. And the practice is easy and it becomes more and more enjoyable.
Yeah.
And that practice right now is going to be chanting Gauranga Haribol. So when we chant, you listen, and then when my friends here at the Chintamani studio chant, you chant with them. Haribo Goranga.
Haribol. Haribol.
Oh, that's easy. Very nice.
For sure.
Everybody can sing. Sing is good for the soul, as they say.
Yeah.
So that's the practice you can add to your life. It's available through us online.
Yeah.
You know, we can provide you with some opportunity if you so desire.
If you desire. That's the gist of it.
That's the gist of it. If you desire, it's available. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Balakhilya, for
Thank you very
today.
much, Ruben. Very nice. Next Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, we'll have another Tuesday question.
Yeah, we might. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you next time.
thank you. Haribol.
All right. Namaste,
Thank you,
Haribo.
Balakhilya. Namaste.